Congratulations on reaching day 10 of the 21 Days to Transform Your Love Life Challenge by the Offline Social. Today, we're exploring a topic that profoundly impacts many of us, our physical insecurities. Join us for an insightful and heartfelt conversation with Ava and Harper as we dive deeper into this transformative journey.
Okay, so let's get real for a minute. You know that feeling you get, like that little twinge of insecurity about, I don't know, something physical?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like our weight or a scar, or maybe it's something else entirely. But it's interesting how these feelings, you know, the ones we often keep to ourselves, can actually have a pretty big impact on our relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Day 10 of the Offline Social 21 Days Transform Your Love Life Challenge. And this challenge is all about, well, exactly that, like how our physical insecurities can affect our love lives.
Right.
And, you know, I have to say, when I was reading through the material for this, it really got me thinking. Because it brings in this relationship expert, Sadia. And she's got some pretty strong opinions about this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, she's pretty blunt. She says, our insecurities can sabotage our relationships as they create walls where there should be bridges.
Ooh, that's a powerful image.
Yeah, I thought so too. When I read that quote, I was kind of like, whoa, walls. What kind of walls are we talking about here?
Right. Like, it's a good question. I mean, think about it this way. You know, if you're constantly like worried about how your body looks, you might, I don't know, maybe you avoid certain like social situations.
Yeah.
Or maybe you kind of hold back from really expressing yourself. You know, like you don't want to be too out there or anything.
Right. You're not like putting yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly. Or even, you know, maybe you even push people away before they have a chance to reject you.
Ooh, that's rough.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are the walls that Saskia is talking about. Those little defense mechanisms, right? Like we build them up to like protect ourselves. But, you know, it's all based on this idea that we're going to be judged, right?
Yeah.
That people are going to look at us and be like, oh, no, not them.
Ugh. It's like we're so worried about being judged that we end up isolating ourselves. And I guess if you're building walls all the time, it makes it pretty hard to build those bridges that Saskia is talking about.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where the challenge comes in, right? Because it offers this, it gives you a tool, basically, to kind of start dismantling those walls.
Okay, so let's talk about that tool, the mirror affirmation exercise. Now, I got to be honest, the whole idea of staring into a mirror and like confronting those insecurities head on, it feels a little intimidating to me.
Yeah, I can see how it could be. I mean, who really wants to, you know, spend time focusing on the things they don't like about themselves?
Right.
But that's kind of the point, though, right? Because, I mean, the whole idea here is to find a quiet space, look yourself in the mirror, and just kind of observe.
Just observe.
Yeah, just notice like what thoughts and feelings come up. But the key here is to do it without judgment. So like, don't beat yourself up for feeling insecure. You know, just acknowledge those feelings and kind of be gentle with yourself.
Okay, so that's the self-compassion part. But then, like, what's next?
Well, then you get to choose 3 affirmations that really resonate with you, and you actually say them out loud.
Okay, so, like, what kind of affirmations are we talking about?
Well, you know, it can be anything that feels empowering to you, but some examples might be, you know, I am more than my appearance.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. Or, I'm grateful for my body and all it does for me.
Okay, yeah, that's good too.
Or even, you know, something like, I deserve love and respect just as I am.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah. The point is to choose affirmations that really speak to you and that kind of challenge those negative thoughts you might be having.
Okay, so I get the concept of affirmations, but like, do they really work?
Yeah.
You know, some people might say it's just like cheesy pep talk, you know?
Yeah, I get that. It can definitely feel a little cheesy at first, but it's not about like magically erasing your insecurities overnight. It's more about intentionally shifting your internal dialogue. So, you know, every time you repeat an affirmation, it's like you're planting a little positive seed in your subconscious mind. And over time, if you keep doing it, you know, with consistent practice, those affirmations can actually help to rewire your thought patterns and create a more positive self-image.
So it's kind of like training your brain to focus on the good stuff instead of always dwelling on the negative.
Yeah, Exactly. And that's where the gratitude part comes in too, because the challenge also mentions focusing on gratitude for a specific body part.
Oh, yeah, right. How does that fit into all of this?
Well, it's actually a really powerful way to counteract negative body image because, you know, by actively seeking out something you appreciate about your body, you're basically shifting your focus from what you dislike to what you value.
Okay.
So, for example, it could be something as simple as appreciating your strong legs for, carrying you through the day,
Yeah.
or maybe being thankful for your hands that allow you to create things and connect with others. It's about, really retraining your attention.
Right. Like stop focusing on the things you don't like and start appreciating what you do have.
Exactly. And the challenge is really big on doing this daily, especially if you have, those really deep-seated insecurities and it makes sense, right? Like consistency is key.
Right. But okay, so we've talked a lot about self-acceptance and all that. But how does this all tie back to, finding love, which is like the whole goal of this challenge?
Well, Saskia, she really hit the nail on the head when she said, when you embrace who you are, you give others the permission to love you authentically too.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, think about it. Like, if you're constantly trying to hide or change yourself, it's really hard for other people to connect with the real you.
It's almost like we're sending these mixed messages to the people around us, like, here I am, but not really.
Right, exactly. And that can create a lot of distance in relationships.
Yeah, definitely. So what we're saying is, by working on self-acceptance, we're not just boosting our own confidence, but we're also opening the door for more genuine connections with other
Oh,
people.
absolutely. I mean, think about it. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you just radiate a different energy.
Mm.
You're more likely to engage authentically, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's how you form those deeper bonds.
Right, those real connections. Okay, so before we wrap up, the challenge asks us to reflect on two things. First, how does focusing on self-acceptance make you feel? Like, really think about that.
Yeah, take a moment to really sit with that question.
And then, second, what relationships in your life might benefit if you embraced your physical self more fully?
That's a good one.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It kind of highlights that whole connection between self-love and the quality of our relationships, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it all leads up to that final point that the challenge makes.
Yeah.
Finding someone who loves and accepts you for who you are, flaws and all. This whole deep dive has been like incredibly insightful, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And, it's important to remember that this is a journey.
Definitely.
And every step you take towards self-acceptance, that's a win.
Absolutely. And just remember, you are worthy of love and acceptance just as you are.
Yes, 100%. And here's something else to think about. As we're kind of wrapping up here, think about how societal beauty standards, like all those images we see in the media and stuff, how that might be fueling some of those insecurities. Like, are those standards really serving you?
That's a good question.
Maybe it's time to start challenging those norms and, define beauty for yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep challenging those beauty standards.